the bottom left-hand side, picking things off. Our blue Protoss that looked so good over the last year. We'll see how he's looking for the ESL Masters. It's Astrea.
In the top right, as the red Zerg. Oh, he chasing. Oh, Lord, he coming. He is Erik.
Repping the cranky ducklings. Early gas, early pool. Cheese and away. I like it. Let's do it. I can't wait to see what exactly it's going to be. What do you think it can be, ZG? Super fast gas, super fast pool. And obviously Ling, Bane, maybe super fast retro. I don't know with Erik. It could actually kind of be anything out of all of those.
I have no idea, man. I actually have no idea. A pool first, whatever. You can go into Ling pressure and then expand behind it.
Mm-hmm.
There was even a phase like 2 years ago where Cyril was trying it every single ZVP, but it didn't last very long. But with the gas versus Protoss,
So has to be all in, right? Like,
oh, absolutely. But it's just like it is already so all in and telegraphed so early on.
mm-hmm.
You know, like a pool first could go into something else after an expansion, but at least there's the pool first. I guess there's still the pool first to deal with here. Its actual power spike doesn't feel like it's going to hit fast enough to matter, is the best way I can put it.
Well, Astrea just scouts and now you get a wall off and it's like, okay, cool. You got super fast link speed, and what are you going to do with it? Right, I mean,
yeah.
Erik's like, okay, I want to take an expansion now. So Astrea's like, okay, well, I'll just put this pylon down here, double check. Okay, you are going to expand. You know, there's no more gas being mined, it's just link speed. So as far as Astrea's concerned, you get a wall up and you are good. I just don't see there being enough DPS, and there is the follow-up Roach Roaring to really mix it up, and that is what we're meant to be surprised about, and the probe does not go back in.
So here's why I'm still concerned, right? You can't get many roaches. Well, and the probe goes back in. You also can't get many roaches. Like this really has to be the honestly like biggest surprise ever. Like nothing even scouts the roaches when they're 10 feet in front of you for it to work. But that is going to happen. That is actually going to happen. Astrea saw gas still mining though from 2 drones, which is awfully sus for someone who is supposedly only going lings.
Yeah.
But
he saw
got
the
a sentry
gas.
and an adept.
I was going to say he saw the gas going back in, right? Like he was just going back into gas, so maybe that's less suspicious. I don't really know.
Okay.
Is this sentry going to hallucinate, do you think, just to get a full scout?
Yeah, I think so. Which is a pro and a con, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the pro is that you scout it, but the con is that you put 100 gas into a sentry that can't help you fight it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first battery starts up. Astrea is definitely wondering, what the heck are you doing? Of course, still has 2 gateways to produce out of, and the moment you see it, some roaches, a couple stalkers go a long way to help against that, just pinging away at them over time. Misses the roaches themselves, it will have to be the roach roar and he scouts. Twilight Count's on the way, that's fine for the follow-up and all of that. And it's just drones from Erik. It's only 3 roaches. 3 roaches and 4 lings. This honestly might be the worst attack I've ever seen. I mean, prove me wrong, Erik. You've got the units right now. Show me that this is something cool. Because I do not see it. I just don't.
Can someone get like a really memey picture of Wardy and just post like the words "I hate it" underneath, you know, his face? Because I think I need it.
I hate that stuff.
It's so good. Well, it does go back to what I was talking about, which is like you don't get a lot of roaches, but theoretically you get the roaches to bust the wall to let the speedlings through.
There's no speedlings.
But then this guy doesn't get speedlings, so I'm very confused.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it make sense if you say that he's doing something else, but with what he's doing, it just... yeah, I'm not a fan, honestly, and, well, I mean, the battery heals up the gateway survives, and, of course, I mean, you're slowing Astrea down, but now Astrea's on his way to a Dark Shrine. Erik's 3rd hatchery is obviously super late here, and that's going to be the cost of all of this. Your tech is so late, your economy is so much later than it usually would be. Those are the real costs of what's going on in this.
I'm so confused, but I'm so thrilled. This is exactly what I wanted. Astrea going for a Dark Shrine is gonna win the game as soon as 1DT pops up. That's gonna be great. This is great because you know for last season with the North American regionals or North America, I was a little sad. You know, there wasn't as much shenanigans I was hoping. North America was trying to get their suit and tie on. They're trying to be like normal people. And Latin America gets thrown into the mix, and boom, we're back at it, man. We're back to being so confused by the Americas. This is good. This is nature healing.
This is how it's meant to be. This is how the last few matches of the day are meant to be. We're not meant to understand. We're just meant to nod our heads and accept and say, yes, Americas. We will do as you say. We will watch your StarCraft, and we will like it.
Yes. And I love it. I love it. How did you get a Dark Shrine and not warp a DT? Astrea.
My favorite part is he scouted there's no Spork Rollers as well. And he's just like, yeah, you know, well, DT might be good, but, you know, would it be too much fun to win right now? By the time this DT gets across the map, the lad's pretty much done. And, well, apparently this DT is going to go and fight Lings. Is this a defensive DT, like in case of like a follow-up all-in and the DTs are there just to hold it off? It almost feels like it at this stage.
You're right, it is. It had to have been. He spent so long staying at home, and he didn't warp it in immediately. And then he spent it so long at home, and he took a really weird path with his other DT because he's probably expecting army throughout the middle of the map. I think you're right.
Well, only in Americas do we play defensive DTs as an opener. I mean, usually the DTs defensively are like an offset of like, hey, I was going to come and kill you with Dark Templar. And now it's like, oh, my defensive DTs are accidentally going to do loads of damage? Oh, that's nice.
do you remember like 3 years ago, there was some weird early Zerg all-in where people could get a Dark Shrine to defend? There was a hatchery-based all-in. Yeah, so maybe he was thinking that.
Just 3 years ago, the meta was different. There was Queen Walks all the time.
Yeah, that's very true. It's a very different meta. The DTs are doing excellent, by the way, even with the Overseers being available. They weren't made, so they had to wait to be made. So 13 drones when Erik has already kind of hit himself in the face once. Pretty good.
Yeah, the infestation bit, I love it. Let's go. He just doesn't really have the gas income to really support anything off an infestation pit, but you know what? Why not? Double expanding. Yeah, well, Erik's Erik's setting up as though he's just had the macro open of a lifetime. Astrea like proxy gated him, he depowered the gateways, and Astrea's back at home with no tech. Erik's like, cool, 5 bases, infestation pit, get my tech up and everything. Meanwhile, Erik's actually like opened up like 12 gas, 11 pool to no damage. Just incredible. What a game.
This is an amazing game of StarCraft, and I do kind of want to be clear, like. you might accuse us of being mean. I am really laughing at how much I don't understand. This is very refreshing. Like, not to give ourselves too much credit because we miss details. I mean, you know, we're not the pro gamers, but we kind of know how the game's gonna go. I would give us that much credit. I have no idea how this game is going. I don't want to like get in a call with Erik afterwards and be like, Erik, you big dummy, that made no sense whatsoever. I want to get in a call with him and listen to his view on life. You know. Just be like, tell me more, because I don't understand it, but I think you do. I think you know exactly what you're doing. Look, he's winning! He's staying out of 4th base!
He's staying out of the 4th base. Does that constitute as winning? We're going to blink forward, take out the Ravager. What even surprises me is that the infestation bit was for a hive. Like, we're rushing Broodlords after this. You know, it's like everything we say is actually kind of funny, but it's like, that's what's happening. That's the kind of game we've got.
You know the gif of like the kid like superpowering because she has candy in her hands? That's me right now. Yes. Go for more weird stuff. Oh my god, I love it. I hope we get 17 Broodlords on the field before this game ends, Warder.
Honestly, I don't even have anything to say. Just waiting for the next weird twist and turn. Astrea's like, hey, you know what's going to be really good to rush out right now for myself? Like, maybe Mass Phoenix. I feel like that's the only thing I can think can be as ridiculous as what's been going on. And Colossus seems almost normal at this point. There's a lot of things. Colossus makes sense, right? Adrenal Glands is the choice off the Hive immediately. He built a Spire in sync with the Hive. It's got to be a great Spire, and there it is. The road to Broodlords is well underway.
Astrea also is about to go on the map, I think, though. And he's going to kill Erik with this.
I would think so, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's 7 roaches, 3 Ravages. Well, there's 7 roaches, 3 Ravages, and 111 Zerglings.
Wait, do they have any upgrades? They have +1.
Yeah, they have +1. I could believe it as we get the Prism. Okay, cool. Well, maybe Erik doesn't die right now.
Yeah, what if Astrea just runs away now?
And then he gets Broodlorded. Oh my god. What's happening?
It is happening. It is actually happening. Erik needs about a bajillion more resources to actually build Brood Lords, but dude, he just pushed back that attack by killing a War Prism. That's awesome.
Pretty cool, man. Genuinely fun game. Just very kind of fresh. You don't really know what the next corner is going to bring you. And yeah, 2 more Colossi obviously go a long way against this link-heavy style, but they do not help you at all when it comes to those Great Aspire. And, you know, if there's one thing that Astrea has not really had, right, it's too much information. He has not seen the fact that this Great Aspire is up. It is just now finished. And, well, you know, if we had Corruptors, they would be making to Broodlords right now. Problem is we don't have any Corruptors. 6 of them now on the way up. And that gives Astrea a little bit more time to spot, prep, maybe do something about the fact there's going to be Broodlords here on Ancient Cistern.
What does Astrea think it is?
Like, I don't know.
Honestly. What? I mean, there's been no attack. There's been no Baneling forming. There's been very few Ravagers forming. It's not exactly a land-based Zerg army. It's 100+ Lings.
Yeah.
We don't have a Hydra send for Lurkers. There haven't been any Hydras on the field. So Astrea, I think the tactic here that's worked out is that for 11.5 minutes, Astrea has been dumbfounded. So his jaw is still open and he's still dumbfounded. So he's not even processing like what it could be. He's gonna be completely surprised by a bunch of Corruptors turning into Broodlords. There they go. We're gonna get Broodlords on the field already.
This is gonna be the most anticlimactic thing of all time because Astrea. What if Astrea just walks across and kills him anyway? I feel like that's about.
Oh, he probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just spotted the Greater Spire with his DT.
Yep, that's absolutely go time. Well, first base goes down. Astrea shows up on the other side of the map, and I just don't think 5-6 Broodlords are going to really make a difference here. We'll find out very soon as a bunch of drones die in a corner, and yeah, well, Erik says, I'm going to counterattack, which might seem like a great idea, but yeah, Broodlords can't move around the map. Broodlords don't do that, so counterattacking is one thing, but then you're kind of leaving the good part of your army behind, and that is kind of exposed, and again, I don't really love the situation, I guess. Because you do have some defensive storms apparently going down on the other side. And a recall.
I think his plan... Yeah, the recall is going to be used. I think Erik's plan was to literally buy so much time, enough time, to get to enough Broodlords to hold against non-Stargate units. Which is actually a lot. If the Protoss has Archons and Stalkers and they're upgraded, it's actually a lot that you have to get from Broodlord-wise. He catches the non-recalled part of the army with the Roach Ravager and Broodlord somehow. He could abduct this one Colossus to help out if he thinks it'll help, but Erik's down almost half the supply. The only thing he has are Broodlords, and only 6 of them. That is not a very impressive amount.
It really ain't an impressive amount, and that is the issue at the end of the day. He's down to his main, his natural, and this base in the bottom right, well, that one's about to die if Astrea runs up this ramp and kills it. That's not going to last too much longer here. And yeah, honestly, like, Astrea's got this, but what a wild game. I love it. America's delivering.
I do love it. I do love it, man. What if Erik didn't lose 14 drones to DTs? He would have had 12 Broodlords, man. That might have done something.
You know what it is? That's what happens when you let defensive DTs do damage. Should have never happened.
Defensive DTs. GG. That was a roller coaster. It was like reading a novel I've never read before. It was like watching a soap opera. Suddenly someone's twin comes in and then they're quintuplet and then someone gets murdered. And then it's in outer space and then it's some kid's dream. And you're just like, whoa. Cool. That was legitimately me watching that beautiful game of StarCraft 2.
Just this game, it was just beautiful in general, wasn't it? I mean,
love it.
Just like, it's very rare that you get every phase of the game being so weird and different and just like, what the heck's going on? Like, from the very get-go, we didn't even start normally. It was early gas, early pool, into no lings, into the Roadrunner, into the no scout, into then he didn't actually make the units to make up for the fact that, you know, you had to, it was just wild. Every part of it. Loved it. Okay, cool. Erik is down a map against Astrea, and Astrea is leading by 1 over Erik here, and looking for a chance to close out his first series of the event. Obviously become one of the 1-0s. Obviously Erik's had some good runs in Latin America, and we do maybe expect Erik on a good streak to have a chance of making playoffs here in the Americas region, I would say. So a tough first 4 draw for him, I would say, over Astrea. But definitely down the line, you know, I think a few matches, you know, maybe this time next week we'll be like, okay, Erik, this is your chance, this is your run, you know, do or die. Not a guarantee, but like absolutely one of these players that can compete, and you can see why, because against anyone else that isn't as, you know, good as Astrea, I mean, how do you respond to all of that? How do you, you know, analyze the game and make it work? Well, you probably mess up quite a lot, and Erik kills you with the Broodlords, quite frankly.
Yeah. Alternatively, someone not as good as Astrea just kills him earlier.
Yeah.
Because
They're
he's
just
not
like,
as good
they're
and
just
isn't
like,
playing cautiously.
Scrap this, I'm gonna just warp 3 DTs and across the map. Oh, you don't have anything cool. Like, that's how, that's what's amazing. The game could have been so over if Astrea built a pylon on the other side and warps in 3 DTs. The game just ends. We don't get to see any of this marvelous thing apart from the first 3 minutes, right? Like, yeah, incredible.
Oh my god, Erik sending out a drone. Oh my god.
Okay,
yes.
then.
Yes!
Astrea bottom right, Erik top left, drone on the map. Let's go.
Oh my god, he didn't have to do any zooms. Yeah.
Zoom on the drone. Here you go.
There you go. Is he gonna just block the Nexus? Okay, blocking the Nexus is actually the least cool option of a drone.
Yeah,
on
that's
the map.
boring. Back to intro,
Thumbs
CG.
down.
Erik is no longer my favorite player.
I am no longer entertained. It's still different, but seriously, like, to really explain this one for people who are confused, it is unorthodox, it is different. No one really does this anymore, but when you do the proxy, when you Nexus block, it's not really a proxy, it's a Nexus block, you are literally just Nexus blocking. You are expecting them to take care of this, and then you go, haha, I messed up your build order. If it's elsewhere, it's more of like a Spinecrawler Roach, a Roche Rush, a Ling all in if it got a gold base or something weird like that. But this is actually kind of simple. And is it one of the worst maps to do this on because the wall off is so tight on Neo Humanity? Because I would say one of the issues for the Protoss is like they can't afford everything at once, like walling off completely if this end up being a fast pool. But it's a 2 wall off on Neo Humanity, so Erik's taking the middle base.
Okay. Yeah, I never actually really considered the size of the wall off being much of an issue, but yeah, what you say makes sense, right? You can just wall off here, and then I think you look at this as a straight saying, cool, I'll get rid of this hatchery eventually, I'll make a couple of zealots, probably an adept or so after, and have a good time. So, yeah, I'm kind of with what you're saying. Middle base is fun, but still not the wildest thing out there, and Astrea does scout this pretty quickly, so he's very aware of what's going on, and to me, even more reason to just continue into units after the couple of zealots, because now you can take these couple of units, and you can obviously run across the map and put some good pressure onto that forward base. It's not easily connected, so reinforcements and queens can't help defend it easily, and that should make it kind of awkward for Erik, who is making 6 lings at this side of the map.
I'm really I don't understand what's good about the base that Erik is taking. Fast gas doesn't do a lot for Zerg, does it?
Fast gas, and I think also just the fact it's a forward position, right? So you also have the ability to say, okay, cool, when I'm spamming my all-in units, they're going to arrive faster. That would be my guess.
I mean, that's true.
As the Lings do catch the Stargates. I think it's that combo of A, the extra gas off of less drones, means you can afford more Ravages, and then they spawn and morph in closer, and they just hit sooner. So that combo is very powerful.
Yes, go for Dark Shrine! Oh, damn it. Okay.
Did you just cast the Stargate, and the first thing you realize is just Dark Shrine?
Yes. I was so hoping that he would do it, because he also had a pylon or a probe that could have built a pylon in the natural. It went to go scout instead.
Yeah, boring. Yeah,
I know, right?
These units come across the map then, 2 zealots and a stalker. There's 2 queens here though, so actually this can be pretty well defended, this position. The Robo from Astrea though suggests he's just going to make units and go, right? I mean, a Robo is very rarely a macro build in PvZ unless we Robo Bay and do some kind of like Prism Speed Disruptor drop. As we warp in an extra sentry, I mean, any sentry we warp in to me just says Immortals, Prism, and we just go and try and kill the guy. But there's a Robo Bay, so I guess the sentries are defensive, and we just Robo Bay it up and play Disruptors. Disruptors,
Yeah,
is there a world we go Colossi? Surely
I think he could still do the 2 Disruptor opener into 1 Colossus push.
That's true, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a good idea. By the way, Erik took that base and then did not make any all-in or take the gas.
Oh, perfect.
I just want to point that out, just so like someone in chat
takes
could
the
maybe help us
gas
understand. Okay.
I think it's still
All
fast gas, and you do have creep spread pushing through the middle of the map that would not be this far forward.
That is very true. The creep spread is already fairly far forward, but
maybe it's not about the right now zombie grub. It's about the 2 minutes from now.
then why not get this as a third base?
Okay, 2 minutes from now, you need the setup from now. How about that? It's about how the right now affects the later.
You're right. Oh, it's a double robo? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, was this a 2-base? I feel like Astrea did this, actually. A 2-base, 2 robo all in. I know that sounds really stupid, but I think it did it before.
Yeah.
I think so. Because then he pumps out 2 Disruptors and 2 Colossus and does the same all in.
Oh. Actually, that seems kind of familiar. You also can get the second Prism as well. I actually do remember a second Prism build from Astrea one time.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's the same thing then. What a game to, bring it out on.
Yeah, I mean, Astrea's like, hey, you guys like game 1? Look what I got for game 2. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just very enjoyable. I mean, I think I like what Astrea is doing. Just to talk seriously for a second, I think I like it, but it is also potentially, I don't know, making the game more difficult for the favored player, right? Because they're doing a weird all-in, and Erik might be doing a weird all-in, but as soon as like Astrea goes on a creep, it does become like Erik favored. Vice versa, then it's Astrea. I'm just like, I'm thinking that it is one of the riskier things to do if you believe you're the favored player, especially when you really don't know what's going on and Disruptors are literally hit or miss.
You're trying to tell me, Zombie Grub, that you don't think trying to style on your opponent with double speed Prism Disruptor drops isn't the best way to play? I'll have you know, this is how all great players take out other great players. As he kills 10 drones, he loses a Disruptor, loses some star points there. You know, I laughed because Neeb did this to me in a DreamHack one time, and he just double Disruptor dropped me for like 5 minutes straight, and I just left the game. Oh no! Oh my god, that was disgusting.
Well, this is clearly working, so I don't have any.
We just need to shut up and deal with it. Like, it's happening. It's good.
Oh, this is on a 2-base all in. Astrea does that on a third, as well as Colossus. I mean, he'll have a very good anti-Ling army.Maybe that's what he was initially thinking of. And of course, if the Disruptors kill the Roaches, then it's also good against Roaches. But it does seem like defensively, these would be the units that you in Nana and Boo Boo the Zerg with. It's very difficult to break Disruptor Colossus defensively. So I don't know what Erik's thinking now. Apparently he's going to try to recover from all this damage, but he's unsuccessful in the attempts. He cannot recover his drone count.
Yeah, we move 7 Ravages because the rich Vespian gas has been mining, and I don't know. I mean, you don't have enough units to attack with. You lost all the Roaches. You don't have an economy to macro with. You lost all the drones. Like, Astrea really hit the man where it hurt a couple times over in 2 different ways. So, yeah, it's just rough for Erik, man. His drones keep on dropping everywhere. I'm doing a terrible job of watching them, but they are dying from the Disruptors. That's what's happening.
Do you think Astrea will actually get an observer and clear up this creep spread?
I think at some point you'll just make enough Disruptors to just disrupt to every creep tumor. Style points. That's what seemingly what this series is about. I mean, what hasn't he disrupted at this point? So
the creep tumors.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the menu. It's up next.
It is funny. The first building he got was something that could give him detection to clear up the advanced creep spread that Erik was aiming for with his fast middle base. Yeah. I never got one. And he literally doesn't care about it. He is literally like, oh wow, good creep spread, dude, and then doesn't care.
Not just that, he got 2 robos.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even more affordable. I guess like the only thing that's been able to kill creep spread really is like, well, I guess like Disruptors and so on, and maybe he just didn't want to use the shots on that because he hasn't had other units on the map for a long time, so I guess that kind of makes sense, as this was kind of a trade over here. There was some Disruptors. We actually now lost 2 Disruptors in the game. One was early. I think one was just then. But Erik doesn't have enough to push through or to punish this or anything.
I can't, Wardy. Do you know what would be awful with 4 Colossus, Woody?
Anything?
Extended thermal lens would just be awful.
Oh, yeah. That would suck, right? Can you imagine having to like shoot your opponent's units from further away? That's insane.
I can't believe he doesn't have it.
Yeah, that is actually pretty
Oh my
special.
god, we went to Mutas. I love it.
Cool. I mean, Muta's good choice. Apart from the fact you might want to actually have something that can kill the Colossi like Corruptors, but I mean the Mutas are good because there's no blink or anything, right? There's not really anything that deals with Mutas. So I guess the Mutas have a good chance of getting some good harassment done here, and a few Zealots is going to go after a Queen. The rest of this army, ooh, on the right side, Erik needs to be careful. Going to get force field and lose a few units. It's going to be a little bit costly for him. And the Mutas are seen as well by this Prism, so that gives a little bit of preparation time from Astrea. He starts up some of them cannons.
Yeah, and it's not like he was lacking anti-air. He does have Stalkers.
Yeah,
it would require a massive amount of Mutas to actually scare Astrea.
Yeah, they're just not with Blink, right? So I guess that's why I was like, oh no, Mutas, but the reality is, yes, there is anti-air, and there's also just this army that can push forward. He's like, oh, Mutas are going to attack me? How about 4 Colossi attack you? And guess what? They don't even have range. That's right, they're going to get up close and personal, baby! Let's go! Colossi, Disruptors, kind of just destroying everything. GG, says Erik, and Astrea does confirm the 2-0 victory.